Hello and welcome back to my channel. This is Caitlin from Caitlin Plans, and you're probably wondering why there's not a planner in front of me right now. This has been my most requested video, so I'm finally getting around to doing it. And I'm going to show you how I edit my photos. If you're interested in learning more about how I take my photos, I think I'll give a few tips in this video, but if you'd like a separate video, I can also film that. More than happy to do it. I take all of my photos on my iPhone XR. Photo quality is great on the iPhone. I think any of the newer models does an amazing job that's comparable to an actual camera. And then when I have my pictures taken, I transfer them over here to my iPad. This is an iPad Air 3 and an Apple Pencil first generation. I love the Apple Pencil so much. So I'm gonna start by opening Facetune. This is the original Facetune. I don't know if it's free or not. I think I paid $1.99 to upgrade it. So I'm just gonna start by opening a photo. I have photos in various states of editing. So I'm gonna go with this one. This one's an unedited photo. And the thing that I like to do in Facetune that works out really well is clicking on filters, lighting, and lighter. And that does just such a natural job of lightening up your photo. So here's the before and after of that. That's pretty noticeable. You can also tap on lighter and slide it to make it in varying degrees of lightness. I normally like to stick somewhere around 50, which is the preset, 50 to 60, depending on how good the lighting is outside that day. And when I'm done with that, I click the check mark. And already we're at a good start. If you wanted to stop and post the image there, it does a good job. Another thing that I liked in Facetune that I don't use anymore, but I did use when I only had Facetune as an editing app, is their teeth whitening tool, which sounds a little weird. And this could also be done on your phone. That's the nice thing about Facetune. But you can just kind of whiten out your background. It takes a little bit of precision and maybe some erasing, but you can whiten out the background like you're doing a set of teeth. I take all of my photos against a white poster board in front of a window, and it helps kind of bounce light around, but it also gives this nice canvas to kind of be creative with in the background. And if you're looking to whiten, you can whiten that way. So something like that, I only did that little section, but even posting this much to Instagram, noticeable difference from where we started. So I'm just gonna get rid of the whitening because I don't actually need that. I only really wanted the brightening tool on Facetune. Save to camera roll. And then I'm gonna open up Procreate, which is one of my favorite editing apps. It's about $10. I think it is $10, but I'm just gonna click photo, the one I just made. And now that we're here, I'm gonna open up a few more layers onto this canvas. So if it's a before the pen photo, I add 3, and if it's an after the pen photo, I add 4 layers, just because I need an additional layer to blur out personal information if I've written in the spread already. So in this very topmost layer, I add in a file. This is from an Etsy shop, a brush set that I bought off of Etsy, and it comes with all of these different textures. We're going with gold glitter. That's my signature photo editing, is gold glitter. And now that I have gold glitter on the top, clipping mask, and that basically transfer papers whatever you draw below it. To do the glitter, I always add in drawing brush. Little Pine is my favorite. The brush set I purchased from Etsy that came with the glitter came with little stars and speckles to make it look like actual glitter. I like it in an outline format. So we're going with that. And now I just line everything. It takes a minute in the beginning to kind of figure out what size brush do I want to use for this particular photo. It's never the same because I take photos at varying distances from the camera. I have a big planner, I have a classic planner, so the outlining kind of changes from photo to photo, but I like the way it looks. So takes a little bit of time just to kind of outline everything. If you want to do straight lines, you can drag it and then hold down and adjust them into straight lines. I'm not pretending that this is a Procreate tutorial because honestly, I'm not the most experienced like Procreate artist, if you will. I don't even consider this art. It's just like outlining a planner in glitter. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this like real quickly. You don't wanna watch me like outline this photo. It's the same thing over and over again. So I did a really rough job with the glitter. Normally I'll take a little bit more time with it, but for the sake of this, I don't really care that much. So clicking on my layer that's the glitter outline, I will click on reference and then click down a layer again. Is the glitter necessary for a good Instagram photo? No, absolutely not. This is like just what I like to do. And this is a video about like my photo editing style, so take this all with a grain of salt, adjust it to what you'd like. And now that I have the glitter layer set as reference, I can drag whatever color I want to the background as long as I've closed off the shapes. So like if I want like a really white background, I'll just drag and drop like white into the background. It makes life a lot easier. And obviously it looks like it contrasts with the background a whole lot more. That'll get sorted out in the next step. But before I move on, let's say I wanted like a colored background. I didn't take this against a colored background, but let's say I want my background to match my planner cover for some reason. I can do this. I can basically just select any photo or any color that's in the image and like change it. I could do multicolored backgrounds, like if for some reason I wanted it to look like that. I can also like pick from one of my palettes or choose a color from here if I wanted purple. So the possibilities with that are endless. You can even add in like photos into your background. So if I wanted like a brick texture or something like that, Procreate is really fun for that. But I'm gonna stick with a classic white because I think that looks best against my black and white spread. And now that we're down to like a nice classic white background, I'm gonna click on the photo layer. So I like to click up here in this magic wand, hue, saturation, brightness, and then layer. And what I'm doing here is increasing the saturation. I bump it up to about 60, and it just gives some nice like deepening of the colors. And then I'll go down to curves, layer, and this is where the magic really happens. It's kind of like a color correction. It might actually just be a color correction, but I drag this top little dot and it adjusts the range of colors that are visible in this image. So doing something like that will lighten it, but keep everything equal. And then messing around with the bottom one will darken the darks. So we got that. And then on something like this, if I really, like this sticker book is looking a bit yellow, like the highlights are looking a bit yellow. So I'm gonna duplicate this layer, hide the bottom one, and then take my eraser in a giant size and just get rid of everything that's not the sticker book. All right, now that everything else is gone and it's just the sticker book hanging around, I'll click on color balance and then layer as well. And I have this set to highlights because I really only want to deal with the white areas of the color book or the sticker book. And it's looking a bit yellow, so I can even that out by adding a bit of blue to it. Like a lot of it'll make it really blue, but like a little bit of it will bring it closer to white. Now that that's fixed, I'll pop up this planner spread as well. I like to combine these layers by dragging them together, and now they're just like one set image together. And the final thing I like to do is kind of clean up the glitter. Sometimes it kind of bleeds into shapes, like you can see here, it's going on to the sticker book. So I'll use like a tiny little brush and just like clean that up, make it look a little bit nicer. I should also mention that I think Procreate is only available on iPad for the moment, so if you're someone who's looking to edit photos from your phone, Facetune does a good enough job. I've also heard good things about PicTap Go. I don't have any experience with it, so I can't like speak to that, but if you have an iPad at the ready, Procreate does amazing things. So I'm just gonna call it good on this image. Go back to my gallery by clicking on gallery, select it, share it, save it as a PNG. Next step, I open up Instagram as if I were going to share it. I'm not going to be sharing right now. Oh, playing with them, so cute. Okay, add the photo and click next. Final step, I always add in like a little bit of a filter. I love this one called Juno. As you can see, it like brightens it up a whole bunch. I don't want it to look like that. So I click on it and then I drag that down to about like 10. Even if it's the tiniest amount of filter, I think it makes things look uniform. So if I click on this, it'll show you the before and after. And as you can see, it doesn't do much, but like you can see like the flowers right there are kind of changing color a little bit. It's whitening. I like that filter. It does more on some images than others, but there we go. Click next, fill everything out, and share. So there you have it, my much requested photo editing tutorial. Obviously this is not necessary and not all of the steps are necessary or might apply to you, but like feel free to take what you learned from this and apply it to your own practice. I don't think photos on Instagram really need to be edited. Like nice lighting goes a long way. So take a photo in front of a window, like white poster board, good enough to post. Like this is beyond, and this is kind of extra, but I'm a little extra. So this is what I do. In no way, shape, or form do I claim to be a Procreate expert. I've kind of picked things up as I've gone. I didn't do any like tutorials or anything, so I might be doing things a little bit roundabout, but it works for me, so I like it the way it is. And there you have it. I hope this was helpful to someone out there, or at least entertaining, maybe a little behind the scenes of like before or after of what I've been doing with my photos. Speaking of before after, I'm just going to show you what the original image looked like versus my final product. So this is my first photograph. Decent photograph. Like I'd be able to post this on Instagram and people would get an idea of like what my planner spread looks like. But this looks like a little bit more outstanding. Like obviously these are really harsh whites and blacks, but this is a black and white spread, so I kind of wanted it to look like that. And I think this does a better job of kind of like showing on Instagram what the planner spread looks like to me in person. Like my planner doesn't look like that in person, even though the photo looks like that. This looks so gray, and in my mind it looks more like this. So I want it to look like this. There you go. If you liked this video, hit that like button down below. You can also subscribe to my channel for more fun planner related content, and follow me on Instagram at Caitlin Plans, where I share after the pen photos as well as photos of spreads that did not get videos. Thanks for watching and happy planning.